All right, so today we're here with one of the titans of the construction industry, Roy Anderson, a name that really needs no introduction. I've known Roy for a long time, and we're just excited to have him on the Cornerstone. The Cornerstone is a conversation with design leaders, professionals in the design, planning, and construction realm. And just really excited to have Roy here today to talk about his background and his story. Roy, a lot of people probably know you by name, kind of internationally. Y'all have done work all over the U.S. for sure. Tell us a little bit about your background and history and how you got here.
Well, I'm Roy Anderson III. My father, Roy Anderson Jr., he started the company really from nothing, Roy Anderson Corporation, my former company we work with, and preceding AnderCorp. But my dad really started off with $3,000 he saved when he went as a 21-year-old pilot in the Korean War, graduated from Georgia Tech, and he grew up in Gulfport. And so he came back with $3,000 and started a company. And primarily the economy on the Gulf Coast was federally based, Keesler Air Force Base, NASA, Stennis Space Center, CB base in Gulfport. And that was primarily the market, kind of federally based. And then I kind of went about kind of a strange path into construction. I grew up spring breaks, working summers, carrying buckets of nails and cleaning concrete forms, nothing elaborate.
Yeah.
I think he put me in that position probably to push me away from construction, if anything. So, but
didn't learn your lesson then.
That's right. So, but I went to Alabama undergrad and went through kind of a pre-law Bachelor of Arts type scenario. Thought I was going to be a lawyer. Went to law school at Ole Miss and got my law degree there, and came back as a temporary stint to help my dad out in his business, and been there ever since. So in the construction business, and so gaming passed in '92 over in Hancock County, and we did the first my career Dockside Casino, and that kind of led to other larger projects and a lot of hospitality. We ended up doing 2 acquisitions, and one in 2003, and another one in 2010. And so it was, but it's been a great journey. It's a great, working with people like you that are very creative. So it's very good. So
yeah,
very fulfilling.
Yeah. So basically, right out of the gate, you kind of jumped into construction, been there predominantly your whole career. And there's ebbs and flows with things in construction, the good, bad, and ugly, and you get to see it all. But what are some of the most rewarding things when you look back about your career?
I think, as you know, in your company, Christian, it's a team business. You can't do it yourself.
Sure.
And just seeing the growth, your team members come in right out of school, or some from a community college even, and they're a certain level, and then next thing you know, 25 years later, they're building a $25-30 million project. And
right.
So it's and also you see the benefits, the effects on their family, and it's you're proud of that your company, not yourself, but your company provided those means and so forth, and growth opportunities to not only their family, but their kids and everything else. I guess that's the most rewarding part.
Yeah. And y'all have really kind of, I guess over the last decade almost, really started from scratch again with the AnderCorp.
Right.
Talk about that and the lessons learned through really starting from scratch and taking the company from basically LLC or a company on paper to what it is today, and what all the stuff that y'all are involved in.
I was 35 years CEO through an acquisition by a large public company of Roy Anderson Corporation in April 2011. And that was about the time my dad passed away too. So it was a pretty hectic time for me personally, but he encouraged me to go ahead and proceed with that, and so I stayed 7 years with them, and my son Roy Anderson IV, who's now Executive Vice President of AnderCorp, expressed a desire to have his own company, and so we created AnderCorp in 2019, and I went up to Jackson and got a contractor's license, and State Board of Contractors, we're all laughing, and what am I doing here again?
Right, yeah.
Why would I do this again? But anyway, so we started the company, and the company has grown beyond anything that we expected. I always, you try to strive for success, but our success came a little bit more aggressive and earlier, larger projects, past customers and clients and employees. That's what made it work for us, really.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of learning curve, I guess, what I'm saying.
Right, yeah. Well, talk about, I guess, with the learning curve, you mentioned Roy IV kind of stepping into this role as well. And y'all are really in a unique scenario of running a family business, a continuation of what you and your father got to work on. So this is another generation in the fold. What are some lessons learned from that whole process of starting this with your son?
I think lessons learned, but not only in our company, probably applies to your business and everywhere else. It's very easy to fall into the trap that you gravitate in the section of the business that's fun, that's more rewarding. But at the end of the day, operations is exciting, but you need to learn all these other facets of the business and departments and see how everything fits. For instance, HR, your risk management, the legal side, your contracts, hiring and screening employees, because we're always recruiting every day in this very challenging environment we're in today with the data centers and so forth. So we're always marketing our company and trying to recruit the best people we can. But I guess going back to Roy IV is really to encourage him to be involved in training, growth, like I said, HR, risk management, the things that are very important, but you don't realize how important they are until you're actually doing it.
Right.
And because you can't have a successful construction project without all that of those ingredients.
Yeah.
You have to have a good contract, you have to have good risk management, you have to have all these things. And I've seen before that when we interview people, they kind of express their interest. This is exactly what I want to go into, this part, but yet they have not had experience in other areas of the company.
Yeah.
And but anyway, we like that would be my main advice to anyone, including Roy IV, and we've talked about that.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. And so we've worked a lot together over the years, probably the last 15, 20 years on projects. We're here at a milestone today, a topping out of a hotel project, and always fun to reach those milestones. But there's got to be, over the course of your career, some projects that stand out, some favorite ones. Anything specific that you have a lot of pride in, looking back?
Well, it's just, I think most of them were the challenges that we had. I mean, I probably going back to the first dockside casino, and back before computers in 1992, the fax machines came out, so we were building basically off the 8.5 by 11 faxes.
Yeah.
And so in the trailer, and so working 24/7, getting something open, and some of our employees questioned whether we would meet the deadline, but I think you could see the expressions on their face when they met these critical deadlines. But those efforts back then led to the growth of our company, not just in gaming, in larger projects.
Sure.
And so it helped us on our procedures and policies. But I think it was probably that first project. My father would say, going back to the First Baptist Church in Gulfport, that was destroyed in Katrina. That meant a lot to him, because that was the church he grew up in.
Yeah, and I was married in that church too. I don't know if you knew that or not.
It was a beautiful church.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but anyway, it was we still have black and white photographs of them hanging the steeple. So my dad used to say that was his favorite project that meant the most to him. But I guess the one that was most impactful for us was probably that first gaming, because we were able to do a lot of work in that next 10 years worth of work.
Well, that opened up a lot of doors to different avenues with gaming blowing up on the Gulf Coast and in Louisiana. So
it did, but I realized you can't put your eggs in one basket on one type of work or one type of design. So we have a military, federal division, we have retail, we have healthcare, and so hopefully at the end of the day, if we have one market sector that's soft, that the other one would kind of bootstrap the and that's at least what I learned. It's not rocket science. It's just that hopefully all of our economy sectors won't be down at the same time.
Being diversified.
Right.
You mentioned earlier when you're talking about kind of all the facets of the interactions of your company, who you have to kind of think about within the company, the HR, the different dynamics of running a company. Running a project is similar in the sense that you've got so many different players involved. And talk about the importance of what y'all do in both a GC role and a CM role, and working with design professionals to either through a design build process, a bid project, how critical it is for that relationship to be synonymous throughout the process.
I know I'm preaching to the choir, because I know in your business you encourage this, but right now we're seeing that if you're going to, for instance, you and your wife going to build a house, you're not going to put it out for public bid.
Sure.
What you're going to do is interview several people. You understand who the superintendent's going to be. You understand what their method of construction, the method of buying materials, your creativity on design. And so you select really a team to work on project. So we're seeing the involvement of construction management more and more, where owners bring in a contractor and a design team. So we're working with the designers all the way through. We're hopefully getting out front of any kind of surprises, as opposed to a hard bid project. A project is designed 100%, advertised, and if you can bond the project, if you're a low bidder, that's who's going to build the project. And in some cases that works out great for the owner, but in a lot of cases we feel like that's not the best delivery method, and so we like to be hopefully interviewed and on the front end of the project. Like this project, we work with designers, and yourself, you were on the team. I believe we recommended you to this owner of this project, and so because we worked on previous projects, so it's all about relationship.
It is, yeah.
It's not all about price. It's about expectations and collaborative working together.
So in looking back, you've obviously been motivated, grown really two companies throughout your career. Is there any one phrase or one mantra that somebody passed along to you that has been impactful to you throughout your career?
Well, I always go back to my dad. He was my mentor, but he would get frustrated sometimes because, he'd ask people to do some things in a nice way. He was very much of a polite guy. And when it wasn't done, he would just, wasn't getting done, he would look at me, shake his head, and say, it goes back to the old saying, if it is to be, it's up to me. So he would get frustrated. He said, I don't know why I asked them to do something, or they did it wrong. So,
right. Sometimes you just got to roll up your sleeves.
So if it is to be, it's up to me. So it's kind of in fact, I think we have it on one of the walls in our office in a conference room. Just to remind everybody that don't always looking for a quick excuse to get out of doing something. Just roll your sleeves up, like you said.
Absolutely. Well, so I always start with an icebreaker in some of these interviews, and I failed to do that. We jumped right into this one, but this has nothing to do with construction or professional career or anything like that, but just a random out there question. What is your favorite sports memory?
Well, sports was very important. I played baseball, football growing up, so I'd like to forget those 2-a-day August practices and so forth. So I would say that's a memory. As far as sports was important to our family, but back in those days, my dad Coach Lindy Callahan was the head coach of Gulfport Commodores back in those days.
Okay.
And so everybody followed the Commodores. They were dominant through the state. So my parents would check us out of school, elementary school, and we'd go to those games in Jackson, all over the state. And then you can't forget the Saints games at the old, not the Superdome, but the original, in the Uptown area. Watching Billy Kilmer and Saints, but the main thing is my dad brought me to those, and that's the memories. And then undergrad at Alabama, of course, they won 2 national championships when I was there, but that was during the Bear Bryant days.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't remember that.
No, well, those are the good old days.
But I'd say that all that combined, high school athletics as well as the Saints and college football.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about your story. It's I've looked up to you for a long time. I always admired the way you handle yourself in business, and just appreciate you taking the time to be part of this conversation. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, well, absolutely.